The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
What's happening with it, dog?
That much, man. It's been a minute. We life is lifing, man. We got all these good things happening and stuff. Graduations and move. Speaking of, looks like
you muted yourself, bro.
Hey, how I do that? That's the rest. But it looks like Thursday through probably Tuesday. No show. Be heading to Houston, man.
Yeah,
heading down to my guy Craig Hall, heading his way. Drop off a little package for them Cougars. But what's good with you, Craig? Hope everything's all right. He talking about Ant-Man. Yes, it's bad.
Yeah, it ain't looking good right now for them boys.
Yeah. My I had been saying I knew it wouldn't happen, but it'll be fun to see the Knicks and those Timberwolves. I must have not completed that sentence.
Yeah,
it'll be fun to see the Knicks and the Timberwolves on vacation together.
Make it to the next round.
it'll be
finals. We got to get them to the next round first.
Finals. They might need to plan their final make their final reservations.
They could play in Cancun.
I just want to say, what's the new place they gonna Punta, I don't know, Playa de Carmen, I don't know. One of them places, the new places now. Cancun ain't even the hot spot no more. It's like Tulum or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Puerto Rico finna get a trip. They could have something special happen.
I don't even know the way the Knicks look right now. They might not have enough people to play nobody on vacation.
You have to be more careful. We're gonna talk about some of these potential conference finals, because we at least know the Eastern Conference. We got a pretty idea of what the Western Conference look like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's heavy favorites on both sides. So, but we'll get to it, man. We got some LSU talk. We got, football, softball, baseball. EA Sports, they dropped the trailer, so it's a lot of good stuff to talk about, but we'll get to it. But first, man, y'all know what we got to do. We got to give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We will be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. Hey, we are back. What's good, Josh? Josh dropped in on Josh be in there listening. He just be listening, man. I've been in there fight. I was in there fighting for my life, man, last night. Them Texas folks in spaces. They talking crazy.
I couldn't do it 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, last night wasn't even supposed to be about that. It was just, since talking about different stuff. They came in and just started talking. I blame Ryan because Ryan, like, hey man, them folks cool. And then they came in there.
That's my guy, man. Y'all got him riled up. Nah, your boy came with that foolishness.
Yeah, but last night, Danny was co-host. She was not having any of it. So out of there.
She be quick on the trigger, man.
Hey, I like
my girl Danny, man.
Out of there. I'm gonna have to talk.
Dog, man.
Yeah, Danny. Perp, I can't eat. Perp be like, man, no, man, it's all about, man. Nah, no Perp, no. But man, let's talk about.
He usually be the main one to try to boot somebody with his authoritative ass. With his, as soon as he gets some co-host abilities, he want to boot somebody.
Yeah, man. Let's give a update. Talk about LSU football because we hadn't talked, man, in a minute, and since then we finally got a D tackle out of the portal. Javarian, I think I hope I said that right. Suggs out of Grand Valley State. My bad. I'm looking.
I pray that he a Jerry verse.
I was just. I actually start looking and listening. You know what I'm saying? Because that is, saying personnel wise, that is one of the biggest glaring issues we have.
Without a doubt.
I don't know if, and that's another thing we kept hearing or we've heard a lot is we don't have the personnel. We don't have the personnel. I disagree. I know there is an issue at D line, interior D lineman. But I think there's a remedy for that. Blake has mentioned it. Blake Baker has mentioned it. Possibly going instead of trying to do a 4-man front, possibly do a little bit more 3-man front. That's an option. Another thing, I honestly think that we do have the people. It's going to take a little bit of development, and so it's going to be. I think it's going to be a little rockier at first, but I think it's not like they're too far off. We've seen that with McKinley, where he's got the intangibles, he's got those tools. It's just he's got to refine them. So it's going to be up to Coach, Coach Davis, Bo Davis. It's going to be up to Coach Peoples to have that D-line ready. And that's going to be up to Baker to scheme. We know last year the biggest issue, in my opinion, not necessarily a personnel issue, not that we didn't have the guys. I think the X's and O's was a huge issue. So,
yeah, I think you hit it on the head when you said it's up to Bo Davis and Peoples to develop these guys. I mean, that's what we kept hearing about Bo Davis whenever everybody wanted him. The reason why they wanted him was because he was such a great developer, and what he could do with guys who come in kind of raw, and then by year 3, year 4, they'd have been refined into these highly productive players. So he got his hands full, but I mean, that's what we brought him in here for. You got a lot of young guys, like you mentioned, McKinley, you got Relaford, you got Ahmad Bro, you know what I mean? You got a bunch of guys in that D-line room, young guys who need that refinement, who need that development. And then you got older guys like a Savion Jones and some of these other guys who have played snaps but still need some more refinement also. So I want to see what he can do with those guys, Parrish Shan and those guys, to see how he can develop them, Jacoby and Guillory, and guys who have been around but could still use some more development and some more technique refinement and things like that. So I'm not gonna say that it's a weak point. I'm just gonna say it's an area of concern. You know what I mean? Because like you say, you can scheme around it. You know, we bringing in bodies because not only did we get the guy from Grand Valley State, they also addressed it earlier in the transfer portal with Bleedy. However you pronounce his last name, no disrespect.
Philip Bleedy.
Yeah. So I mean, so they've added bodies, they've added depth. You know, so and you can scheme around and you can add bodies to it and make it a position where you just rotate a bunch of guys in and you don't really have a standout guy. So I mean, it's ways that you can make it work.
Yeah. Chance also brings up we did get the Wisconsin transfer.
Oh yeah, Paez too. Yeah.
Yeah. So and they talked about somebody brought up that I thought was very interesting. I didn't think about. They said they saw him against run heavy teams and he produced. Then they saw him against spread teams the very next week and he produced. So it's not like he's just a get in there, you know, saying one type guy, you know. So I do think that's a huge addition that we probably aren't talking about enough.
Yeah.
But Danny brings up, she's so petty. Because this came out, said, didn't you hear our defense cannot improve in 1 year, and our offense will be taking such a step back that we'll be lucky to beat Arkansas next year. Which I thought that was the most asinine thing I had heard. Just because I'm
not entertaining that comment, bro.
Yeah, it was
no
just
disrespect to Danny. I'm just saying like that.
No, she that's what they were telling. That's what they were saying and telling us last night. It was just yeah. No, that's not her comment. That's what they were telling us. And Danny was like, I don't think we're gonna drop 4 in offense. I mean, we'll drop, of course, because you had a Heisman winning quarterback and 2 first-round wide receivers, but I don't think we're gonna drop so drastically.
No, I mean even if you go from 40 points a game to 35 points a game or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I think it's gonna look different, and that might be the most glaring difference, I guess you want to say, between this season and last season is I think you'll be more 2 tight end, run heavy, play action off of that, you know, than you were last year when you were more wide open, spread them out, air it all around. So I think just because it looks different, people are gonna think that we're taking a step back, but I don't really think it's gonna be a huge drop off like people are saying it will be.
Yeah. I'm tell you what was hilarious. I say hilarious. I thought about because you know that is something to think about. The last time LSU had a Heisman winning quarterback, 2 first-round, pretty much wide receivers. The following year, we still were averaging like 30, 40 points a game. The problem with the defense was this, yeah. So it's I know that was a different regime, but still, I think we're in a better space.
Chance make a great point though. The run game could be our defense best friend. If you keep that defense on the sideline and you keep them from having to play 60, 70 snaps a game, then I think that'll help, especially whenever you look at rotating, not really having a bunch of depth. You know what I mean? Now, if you don't have to play 70 snaps a game, you can keep them guys fresher so they can be more productive.
Yeah, definitely agree. Definitely agree. One thing also that came up this week, DK Moore decommitted from LSU. And to an extent, there was a little bit of panic amongst LSU fans.
If it's one position I ain't gonna worry about,
it's wide receiver. Definitely wide receiver. It's something else I also, although I will say, let me caveat by saying this. I think he's gone. I think he's done. LSU shot at him. I think, although he said it's 1,000%, he's always wanted to come here. I understand. Is there a chance he comes back? Yeah. But I think he's gone. But I do want to say this. It is still May. recruiting is very, very fluid. It is May. He's a wide receiver. As you just stated, I'm not worried about LSU and wide receivers at all. That's one. Two, he's an out of state kid that committed really early. I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah, I mean that's one position where LSU has shown time after time that they'll be fine, man. They can go recruit a 4-star, 3-star Louisiana kid, and he could be just as productive as some of these high 5 stars from other places. So I mean, when you look at you got a couple Louisiana kids in this class who LSU's going after pretty heavily, who I think are kind of sleepers. Um then you got a couple kids from Texas who LSU also going after, who could, I mean, they might not be the number one receiver in the nation, but they still high 5 stars, high 4 stars, and just as talented. So I mean, LSU gonna be good at that position as long as you got Bryce coming in and you can build the class around Bryce, you'll be fine.
All right. I do. It's something else that's kind of along this lines, talking about in-state, out-of-state, and recruiting. I think as LSU fans or and LSU as a whole, as a program, um, you have to pick your poison. Um, and here's what I mean. We always want, well, I'm not gonna say always. It is always said, hey, we gotta get Louisiana kids. We gotta get these, you know what I'm saying, be Louisiana centric, understood. Very, very much so. We gotta build, but I feel like when we do get out of state kids to come, we can't treat them like they're just out of state kids, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because one, you can't build a program with just recruiting one state. Now, Louisiana is in a different spot where they're able to build most of their class or most of their team just out of the state and be completely fine, be able to compete year in, year out. But Louisiana does not produce quarterbacks and trenchmen at a high enough clip for them to completely just shut out the rest of the country. With that said, it's hard to build pipelines at times when you do get a kid from out of state and they end up not in your, you know, saying at your school for one reason or another. That oftentimes makes it hard. So it is like I said, a pick your poison. I don't know, baby. It is a kind of pick your poison type deal, but yeah, it's just that's just how I feel about it. You know, we gotta do something.
No, I mean I feel you on that, but I think with this day and age with the transfer portal, I think people also need to remember that just because a guy commits somewhere else don't mean he won't ever be back at LSU.
That's a fact.
Um, so I think that you need to be careful with what you say when a player leaves or when a player decommits or commits somewhere else. You know what I mean? The door ain't always shut for him to be at LSU eventually. So in state, out of state, no matter who it is, you know what I mean? That door is still open for them to come back or to come to LSU. So to your point about kind of showing out of state look kids the same look you show in state kids, I mean, I think that's how you create pipelines. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you start embracing
Facts.
these, when you start embracing these out of state kids and they start feeling like they can, like LSU can be home to them, then the kids from the who go to them same schools, who around them during the holidays, who's around them in the summertime, them same kids who they talk to and interact with, they want to come to LSU because they see how that you treated their friend who was 2 years ahead of them who went to LSU. So I mean that's one way those relationships, the players have those relationships with those younger kids who go to them same high schools. So when you show love to that one player, they're gonna let it be known to the kids who come behind them how LSU
Mhm.
coming. So I mean that's how you build pipeline.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. Um, So yeah, we can move on for that. Like I said, did want to report that he decommitted. I don't think it's over with. I think in a way he might end up.
I don't think he coming to LSU, bro.
I don't think he.
And I mean, I'm cool with it, bro. You still got.
I don't think so,
Still
but
got,
I do
you
want to keep that.
You still got Francis from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? You still got.
Oh,
I mean,
it's plenty of wide receivers. I'm not worried about, but I just don't. I think it's over with for LSU and him, but I just don't think it's still May. I guess that's why I always caution.
well,
Why I try to
at least
caution.
I say this: it's over with as far as his high school recruitment.
Okay, and that's fair. That's fair. What up, Nikki? So, man, Paul's Hub popped in here and said some very profound. He said he's just ready to talk about how perfect LSU was on the diamond this weekend.
It's about time, huh? I mean, they had to have it. It was a must. It was a must sweep. From most college baseball pundits, you know what I mean. They said that LSU pretty much had to sweep Ole Miss this weekend to make the postseason. And sure enough, they came out and did just that.
Yeah. LSU women. I'm gonna start on the softball side because the men is still got it's a little bit different. Women have clinched a berth in the Super Regional, but because Cal State Fullerton did just upset Stanford and force a game 7, they play Stanford again. I think tomorrow. We may or maybe later on tonight. We may possibly, if Cal State Fullerton pulled off, LSU will host the Super Regional.
Miss Danny Girl said Stanford has taken the lead in that game. LSU softball needs them to lose for us to host the Super Regional.
Yeah. So, yeah,
that'd be big though. I mean, just the fact that they handled business this weekend the way they did, though. I mean, convincingly in all games.
They gave up 1 run in 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, convincingly handled business this weekend. I mean, even if they got to travel on the road, I think you got to feel good with the way this team playing right now. Momentum kind of on their side, and they rolling at the right time to where they could go in to a super regional and make some noise and potentially make it to Oklahoma.
Yeah, LSU softball. I said it in the beginning of the season when everybody was kind of when they got the conference play, people were kind of in a panic. Oh, it's fool's gold. This that LSU started off 24-0.
Yeah,
and then got the conference play and started seeing a little bit of struggle.
But I think it just goes to show how strong the SEC is, though.
There you go. Context matters. The SEC has 13 softball teams. And do you want to care to guess how many of those teams made into the NCAA tournament?
What was it, 11, wasn't it?
All 13.
Oh, okay.
All 13 made it into. So every week you're playing a tournament team. Yeah. So it's hard not to to think that they'll do okay. Again, they're non-conference. They swept through.
Yeah.
So I'm convinced. I'm convinced they can make a run. Big shout out to Beth Torino, who everybody has been all over her. Oh, Scott Wood is going to get rid of it and stuff like that. And Holden has kind of been saying, he's not going to get rid of it. One, who are you going to hire to replace her when Oklahoma's now coming to the SEC?
Yeah.
Texas is coming to the SEC.
But that's the thing, like the only coaches who better than her are already at schools, you know what I mean, like Oklahoma or Alabama, or, you know what I'm saying, or a school like that, to where they're not necessarily leaving LSU unless it's for more money. And how much more of a raise can you give a women's softball coach? You know what I mean? Like,
big facts.
So I feel like Beth is not saying she the best coach in the country, but she probably one of the best coaches that LSU can have right now.
Paul said, "Ole Miss is the only team that went 2 in barbecue. They got bounced by Princeton. Mississippi State also got eliminated. They got eliminated by Cal State Fullerton is actually, so it's gonna be interesting. Man, we alluded to this, and you talked about this. The big sweep of Ole Miss this weekend. LSU welcome familiar face in Coach Bianco back to his old stomping grounds, and yeah, they beat them pretty bad.
Did what they should have been doing all season though.
Dominating performances, elite pitching. Well, I'm gonna say elite pitching. Let me not get ahead.
At times.
Yeah. I do want to say, now that the regular season is over, I need y'all to go ahead and get in line. And we'll practice your apology letters to Christian Little.
Facts.
I tried to tell y'all. Y'all told me I was crazy. Hey, again, that man can, people can grow. Speaking of people can grow, I'm hoping Thatcher Hurd turns a corner.
You can hope that with it being postseason, he gets that postseason vibe he had last year. I don't know if you need to call Paul Skeens and ask for his glove or something. You know what I mean? But whatever he did last postseason, I just need him to harness that, channel that, and bring that same energy with this postseason.
Big facts. Who else? Chance mentioned with the postseason now upon us for baseball. LSU is the 11th seed. They'll take on Georgia Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, man, you gotta, what Georgia means.
Jesus be a rain delay, because 9:30 in the morning is
man, you might want to be at 9:30 in the morning before Charlie Condon wakes up, because
that's
you
true.
hope that dude sleepwalking or something for that early of a pitch, first pitch. But that dude right there, that's your game plan for that game versus Georgia. Just don't let him beat you.
Yeah, unplug his
alarm clock. Lose because somebody else, you know what I'm saying, has a game of their life. But that dude right there, you cannot let him beat you, bro.
Yeah. He is not just that, the head ball coach,
Wes
Johnson just literally left your team. He was your pitching coach last year. So don't think he doesn't have some, I'm pretty sure some insight on how to pitch time. Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting little game. I'm with Chance. Chance said earlier he needs them to beat Georgia for him to feel comfortable. I do not feel comfortable with them making a. They do have a I think it's a 30 something RPI. I feel comfortable in that, and if the committee looks, they may be Final Four in. But
if they win a game in Hoover, I think they're definitely in.
Yeah, if they win a game in Hoover, yeah, great. But you look back at this season, and some of the games you squandered.
Yep.
First one come to my mind, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started looking at some of the other games. Some of these teams that actually, if you look at the 1 through 4, 3 of those games, you had a chance to beat those teams. Each one of those, well, except for I think Kentucky, you had a chance to beat 3 of the 4 teams at least one time, maybe 2.
Yep.
And it would have either won you the series or at least got you, closer to that magical 16. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so,
Ant-Man is over there having a terrible game, my brother.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Dylan just came in.
It won for 9 from the field, bro. 4 points.
Jeez. Jesus.
I guess from Jordan comparison finna stop, huh?
Oh man. Let's go there. Let's talk about this game. Nuggets Wolves, since we already here. Ant-Man's having a terrible game. This game is not even close anymore. It's not close. It's not.
It ain't close. And Ant forcing it, dog. He just took a terrible shot on the other end after missing a wide open three, and it's just Cat ain't playing bad, but I mean he ain't a guy that's gonna carry you. You know what I mean? Like you need Ant in this game because Cat having to work on the other end so hard. But
and Jokic slow body, bleach blonde, bleach blonde, bad built butch body. That dude is I've never seen somebody so unathletic with so much athleticism. You know what I'm saying? It's like he has had Gobert on skates the entire series.
he's Arvidas Sabonis, bro. But the Arvidas that we never got to see because he was in the USSR. You know what I mean? That's the young Arvidas. That's like not really athletic, skill passer, crafty. You know what I mean? Like high
Right.
IQ. It just bad. He's so great though, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna get that. Matter of fact,
We can go.
let's go there now. Danny mentions that said, I also heard someone say last night that Brunson was going to put 40 on Indiana. Per John, her husband, the Pacer fan.
I mean, Indiana had a good game today. You know, Brunson did, have to lead the game early with a broken hand. So let's take that in consideration. But that was a hell of a series, though, bro. Unfortunately, the Knicks were so short-handed that it kind of got out of hand today when Brunson went out. You know, Josh Hart was playing hurt. OG couldn't really go. They were missing like 4 other guys. You know what I mean? They just weren't at full strength. So, but yeah, I think the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. Like that crowd, that arena, like the mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. That fan base is so passionate, and like when the Knicks are good, it's like it's better for basketball. It's like certain teams when they good, it's better for the sport. You know what I mean? Like the St. Louis Cardinals, when they good, baseball is better. You know what I mean? Like it's certain teams that just, but
as much as I hate to admit it, when the Dallas Cowboys are good, football,
yeah, you know
NFL
what
is
I'm
better.
saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Certain teams that is better whenever they're good, and I feel like the Knicks is one of them. But this game today was never really in doubt. I mean, the Pacers just came in and handled business. Halliburton played the way he should have been playing all series. Then you had their role players stepping up. Nemhard had a good game. Siakam had a good game. Miles Turner, you know what I mean? They was just so deep compared to the Knicks, and plus the pace that they play at. Well, a depleted Knicks team couldn't keep up, man. But they was just outmatched ultimately in the game today. But it was a hell of a series, and good luck to the Pacers though, because they got a buzz all waiting for them next series.
Yeah. Speaking of Celtics, finished off the Cavs yesterday. Was it yesterday or whenever it was? They finished
Shit, that
couple
was
days ago. Couple days ago. Was it a week ago? I know it was a while ago.
It seemed like it, bro. They don't seem like they played forever. That series was over with so quick. I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday though, but
Nick said pork chop out the first couple of games too.
Porzingis got a hurt calf, so he gonna miss it, but I don't really know if it matters though. I'm hope I'm wrong though. I want to see a great series. I think the Western Conference series is gonna be good.
Yeah. Speaking of West Conference,
I think Luka and Kyrie can keep Dallas in some games. But
yeah. Speaking of that, the Mavs eliminated the Thunder in which was that series itself was pretty good, was really good. The game 6 ending was kind of, it was a good game all around. So
yeah.
So
OKC coming, man. Pause, but they on the verge of something for real. They building something over there.
Yeah. Now, I guess we can kind of look at conference finals. We know what we're looking at. You got Dallas.
Minnesota on the run right now. It's a 9-point game.
All right. Well, we'll start on the other side since we know you got Celtics and Pacers, and I know you said Pacers are running into a buzzsaw. Porzingis being out, you said you don't think it matters much, but I think it gives. I think I give the edge a little bit to Indiana with not necessarily for the series, but you know what I'm saying, with that being out, I at least give them a little bit more of an edge. I don't know how much it matters, but Miles Turner going against I don't even know who the backup is when Porzingis
they got Al Horford.
I mean, he ain't terrible, but he's older, and I don't know. You know,
that's true.
Now I will say this: the way Miles Turner plays more on the perimeter, I think helps Al Horford a little bit more as far as like not necessarily have to bang in the paint, pause. Not necessarily have to, you know what I'm saying, do all that, physicality. I don't know if Miles, if you change it up and send him down there. Send him down to the paint more.
He ain't really that type of player. He never really been that type of player. But I think I got Celtics in 6. I think they can, with Porzingis winning them first 2 games that he out or projected to be out. I think they could get one of them games, and get a game at home. But ultimately, I think the Celtics just too deep, too much firepower, man. They got too many bodies that they could throw Halliburton to kind of disrupt him and disrupt the tempo of that offense and the way that offense runs through him. They got Holiday, Derek White. They could throw Jaylen Brown on them for put a bigger body on them. So I just think they got too much firepower.
Yeah, I might owe Derek White apology too. Last year, huh?
That dude can ball, bro.
No, it wasn't even that. We never questioned his ability. But I talked about him bad last year about his hair. You know what I'm saying? That hairline. I saw one of our shows from last year, and I was like, dang, I killed the, talking about his hair. And he cut his hair off, and he looks like I'm just gonna say he would have been banned for coming in the country. And
stop it, bro.
I apologize to him because I feel like I bullied him into cutting his hair, and now he may have more problems to deal with. So I sincerely do apologize to him for that. He's been balling that lately. So,
balling out lately.
Yeah. Balding out. Dylan told me I got to stop with my dad jokes. We was he had football conditioning today, and I got one of them little Knicks fans. He was like, "Daddy, can I have a fan?" I said, "No, it's my number one fan." He said, "I gotta stop." But yeah, but man, Easiest question in the world. If you're the Mavericks, who do you want to see? Want to see Minnesota? I get it.
It's a 6-point game too.
Is it still 6? I just saw they went up by 8, so I don't know.
So what I'm watching is 6-point game. I might be behind.
4-point now. What I see. So it's becoming a game. I think it's gonna come down to it's definitely gonna be a 4th quarter game. Come down to if Ant-Man get going late.
Oh yeah, 4-point game. Ant just had to steal.
Yeah. If he get going late, man, it might make this real interesting, real quick.
But if you Dallas though, who do you want to see?
I'm thinking you know what? We say that I could easily say, oh, you don't want to see Denver, but how did they do against Denver in the regular season? That I don't know for real. Because styles make matchups. Let me look at this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they would rather see Minnesota. But you never know.
Yeah, so they went 1-2 against the Nuggets. They beat them in March. They beat them by 2. And well, I'm sorry. I look at it. Let's see. In November, they lost by 11. That was in the in-season tournament as well. That was one of those games. They lost by 26 in December, and then they beat them by 2 in March. Now let's look against Minnesota.
They lost by 18. Oh, that's preseason. Okay, so they lost by 18 in December. They lost by 8 in December. They won by 7 in January. And then they lost. God, dog. They lost by 34 in January.
You might want to see. They may want to see. Yeah, they may want to see Denver because they don't have they don't have a good.
They don't have the size to match up with Minnesota, I don't think.
Yeah. Regardless, so
it's a 4-point game. Ooh, when Minnesota got the ball. I know I'm behind some of y'all, but well, y'all be all right.
All right.
Denver doing a good job of getting the ball out of Ant hands. I will say that though.
All right. Bear with me. Because I ain't quite there yet. But I might make you proud. Let's talk about the WNBA.
Let's do it.
I've been watching, of course, you know what I'm saying? I picked the Sky this year. That's my team I'm roll with. They played Dallas not the opening night. It was the night after the opening night. The second night of the opening, I guess you could say weekend. And they ended up, the game was close until probably the last 2 minutes, and Dallas blew it wide open. Arike Omagubu, hold on. I was on it. I was close. Agumawale. She just took over. And she was hitting threes. She was hitting threes from, just random spots on the floor. Like it was a game of horse, and blew that game wide open. The bigs, T-Mac, and I can't think of the other young lady from for Dallas. They, controlled the paint, and it wasn't even close. So when Dallas and Chicago ran it back last night, I thought that, hey, it's about to be, Dallas 2-0 to start the season, and Chicago is going to be, 0-2. Dallas was even up by 10. Chicago made a comeback, and
fourth quarter,
Angel got a big and one, hit the free throw. Actually, I'm gonna tell you something else about that too. Game 1, Angel was 2 of 8 from free throw line. Her shots that she was throwing, stuff we saw her do at LSU, where she'll throw the kind of, throw a wild shot up, then get the rebound. She's not necessarily getting all those rebounds. She'll throw it up. She may get the rebound, or or it's just, she's blocked
That's
out.
what I've been saying. You ain't getting
Yeah.
multiple attempts in the WNBA like that, dog.
Exactly. But she is getting fouled a lot and going to the line. And like I said, she was not hitting in that first night. Last night, Angel was on fire from the free throw line. I forget what she ended up with, but she was making her shots. And then she started hitting from the, actually hitting from the floor, getting a couple field goals. I think she ended the night with a near double. I think she was
9 and 11, I think.
Yeah.
Or 11
11 points, 9 rebounds. She's also been a huge contributor on the defensive end with some steals and stuff. She only had 1 assist last night, but my true assessment of Angel is first game number 1. I told you she played like she was nervous, like it was anxious. Yesterday she came out and she played a lot better, but she's still adjusting to the game, and you can see it. She's not the only one that's adjusting to the game. We'll talk about Caitlin Clark in a little bit, but I want to talk about it because I want to talk not necessarily her as specifically, but just kind of all the rookies that we've seen so far. But that's been my analysis so far.
I mean, ain't too many teams got the size Dallas got. Whenever you look at, they got Tierra McCowan and Kalani Brown.
That's the other
at center. You know what I mean? Then they still got Stephanie Soares. You still got Maddie Segrist. You know what I mean? They got a bunch of size on the Dallas that a lot of teams don't necessarily have. So I think that's not necessarily the best matchup for Angel Reese or anybody, you know what I mean, in the post position whenever you're going up against a team like that, especially whenever your game is centric on post play. Like, if you were John Quell Jones or Brianna Stewart, who's a perimeter oriented big, then it don't bother you as much going against that size. But whenever you do most of your work in the paint, having those towers down there obviously affects you more.
Yeah,
I think like Danny says, when Cardoso comes back and Angel has more size paired with her going up against this front court of the Dallas Wings, I think she'll be better off than she was in her first 2 games. Not saying she had bad games or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, it'd be a better matchup for once she has a running mate in Cardoso with her.
Yeah. Key asked is what I meant by her adjustment physically. No, it's more of her. She got to get more. She has to have more post moves. What she has been doing, Key, is kind of same stuff she was doing at LSU, where she'll get the ball and kind of try to body you, and she'll throw it up high off the glass. It may, it may have the right, that right, kissing English to, drop for points. But a lot of times what we've been seeing, it's been a lot more air ball. Well, I say air balls, or it'll go up and hit the glass and just come down on the other side. And she's not able to just body through the defenders to get the, get the ball and go up. So, he said by Angel. I mean by Caitlin. So Caitlin, the biggest knock on Caitlin, she didn't have defense. That's 1. 2, she's not going to be able to get away with just pushing off and stuff. And and she has what she saw with South Carolina in that final game is more likely what she'll see in the WNBA, meaning she's going to have people. There is several people throwing body, and they're more athletic enough to stick with her off the dribble. Caitlin is also she's starting to grow frustrated with the refs. The refs in the WNBA, you're a rookie. You're not going to get that call. You're not going to get those calls. Not yet. No matter how force-fed the WNBA is trying to put, make Caitlin to be the star, she still is going to have to earn it. Somebody said last night, I think, it was Miss Nikki. And you said it before. In the W difference between like the WNBA and the NBA will bring a player in, and they can sit them on the bench, let them develop this, that, and other. In the WNBA, because there aren't really any spots really you could do that, what's happening is you're coming in to take somebody's spot, and everybody's fighting to keep their spot. So it's a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest adjustment for Caitlin Clark in the WNBA is the fact that she's having to learn to play inside of a system that isn't necessarily designed around her game. The system was designed to let Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. In Indiana, the system isn't designed to let Caitlin Clark shoot logo threes and shoot them a whole bunch of shots. You know what I mean? They running screen actions for her, but the defense knows that she's coming off that shoot. So the defensive attention she's getting is different than what she's used to. You know what I mean? Like, so she's having to adjust to how the defense is playing her, as well as adjusting to the system not being around her. She's not being asked to go score 35 points a game like she was at Iowa. She's asked to facilitate, use her shot making ability and the gravity that it creates to open up things for Aaliyah Boston and Erica Wheeler and other players on her team. And so she's adjusting to the fact that it ain't for her to shoot first and pass second. It's for her to pass first and look for her shot second. So she's adjusting to that, as well as the physicality of the game, as well as the defensive attention she's getting, like you mentioned, and having players pick her up for 94 feet the entire game and have the ability to run around with a sticker the whole game and basically body her up for the entire 4 quarters. So it's a physical. She'll be fine. She's played fine the first couple games. Yes, she has some turnovers and things like that, but I mean, she'll be fine, bro. Like the Fever, they're not a very good team for one, and for two, they got a lot of young players. They got growing pains. You know what I'm saying? Like Aaliyah Boston is only her second year in the league. This is her 43rd professional game. You know what I mean? Like, she's not a seasoned vet yet. So she's still adjusting to the fact that she has a new point guard or a two guard or whatever position Caitlin's playing at the time, who the defenses are now focusing on to where Aaliyah isn't the main point of their attention. So she has to adjust as well. So it's a lot of adjustments having to go on for everybody on that team. And at the same time, the coach is having to adjust because she's never coached a player with the skill set of Caitlin Clark before. Because there aren't too many players with the skill set of Caitlin Clark. So she's adjusting as well, trying to figure out what Caitlin does best and how what Caitlin does best fit with what the team does best and what the team needs at the time.
Yeah. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching the WNBA this season. So we only 3 games in, 3 games plus the preseason in. I have thoroughly enjoyed what I've seen. Whether it be watching Indiana because they throw them on TV everywhere, or whether it be watching some of those players that were washed away or thrown away, whatever. It's been fun watching this season. And I hadn't even seen everybody. Danny, I know, is falling in love with the Atlanta Dream. She talked about earlier about Miss Nikki Jenkins because she literally said, "Hey." Danny said last night, said, "Man, I like the Dream. The Dream been doing well. That's my squad this year. I think we you know what I'm saying, we're doing well against Phoenix." Or she said something about, you know, saying I'm watching the game tonight, and Miss Nikki said, "Well, Diana Taurasi had a real good game the other night, and she looked like she might be having one again." Next thing you know, Phoenix come back. So, yeah.
Yeah, Diana went off that first game, hit 7 threes.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk about your squad for a minute. Before we actually get to the big story with them. Asia Wilson, when you talk about like an opening night, she had an opening night.
Should have been MVP last year, but I think she's coming with a point to prove this year. Especially with Candace not being there. She gonna have to play a bigger role down low in the paint, both defensively and on the glass and stuff. So I think she's taking that challenge upon herself.
Yeah. Now talk about the big story. For those who haven't seen, the WNBA is currently investigating the Las Vegas Aces for, I think, what they're calling what is it, extended benefits or what's the official word what they call them? I can't recall.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
It's basically receiving more benefits than the rest of, basically saying they're using almost like a
it's almost like they're circumventing the salary cap or something.
yeah, is what they're trying to say. Have you read, because I actually hadn't read much into it. Miss Nikki explained it, then I went and read up on it, and it made a lot more sense. Have you looked into it or anything on it?
I just know the reason why they're looking into it. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I mean, you can't fault the players in this situation. I mean,
At all.
but if you paid your players 50% of the profits, that would be like an average salary of like $600,000 or something like that compared to what they're making now. So I mean, that's hey,
Yeah.
what do I know?
Yeah, Chance said they're acting like they have NIL. So basically, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because usually, we know most players get it's usually like the top 2 players on the team, or maybe top 3.
The problem is the whole team got it.
The whole team got it, and the reason by it's like a travel group or something, or like Travel Vegas or something like that. Tourist business basically said that the Aces have done so much for the Vegas economy that they wanted to bless the entire team, and basically each player got $100,000. But here's the situation with that: they didn't go through the actual team. They actually went to each player's individual agent to do this. What they've done is completely legal. I get the optics of it may seem like they're trying to do as Chance says, like NIL deal or something behind the scenes to kind of, like you said, circumvent the salary cap, but it's logical. Again, this is a private company who feels like the Aces as a whole have done a lot more for the city than some of the other stuff they had. So they're just blessing the team. I don't see anything wrong with it. I understand again the optics of it, but hopefully this will blow over instead of trying to hang like a dark cloud over the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad publicity for the WNBA, but
and especially when they announced about having some charter flights, and then the only team that really got a charter flight was the Indiana Fever, and with Caitlin Clark and all that. And it really looks like you're if you want to talk about optics, you're showing favoritism. You've already shown her game and her game only on TV or on your app, and dismissed most of the rest of the league. So,
yeah.
And speaking of that, did you see there was somebody who live streamed from like their Facebook that Chicago
3 million views.
Yeah, is it up to 3 million now? Because it was like almost 400,000, which was the exact. It wasn't the exact same number. It was close.
It was like 3 million views on the preseason game.
Yeah,
for the Chicago Sky. And the preseason game.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the like opening night numbers were the exact same as that what they put on. So that go to show, man, WNBA is missing opportunities. So, but moving on, man. Some we've been kind of talking about a lot lately. NCAA finally released their trailer for the first rendition of the 25 college football 25. showed the graphics, showed what it looks like, kind of gave you a glimpse of. They even released like what they, saying some of the things that would be inside the game. Man, thoughts so far,
I'm just ready for it to drop, bro. I feel like they teasing me at this point.
man. What edition you getting?
I
Heisman,
don't,
regular,
I don't know. I was thinking about getting the MVP bundle that come with that and Madden or whatever. So I think I'm gonna get that one.
yeah. So here's the crazy part. There's apparently supposed to be a bunch of different bundles because there's a Heisman bundle that's through GameStop that's going to have a lot more like perks to it. But you know what I'm saying, it doesn't get, you know what I'm saying, it's not necessarily the same as that MVP bundle where you get both 2 games for 150, which ain't bad.
Yeah, I ain't never heard nothing about the Heisman bundle.
Yeah, I was in GameStop the other day when I was reserving my copy, and that's when they told me. I was asking about it, and that's when they told me about it. So I was like, interesting, very interesting. So I can't wait. Perp is out there trying to, get names because he's talking about he gonna beat everybody. So I'm gonna be Perp on the Hail Mary with the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I probably don't even play online. I probably just build my little dynasty and
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. I've played online maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't play. I usually play. I play. I'll take like. I remember one time I heard I had Ball State running through teams, man, going to the
that's what I do. I go pick them like ULM or somebody and take them,
Mhm.
change my schedule, play nothing but top 15 ranked teams and stuff.
I heard our guy Joshua Sims Senior is trying to get a bunch of people to create HBCU teams and do like a HBCU online dynasty.
That'll be dope.
So yeah, so it'd be dope. I'm looking forward to it. So can't wait.
I think I'm gonna go buy me a new PS5 just for the new release of the.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have a new game to play the new game. You can't play a new game
I'm be honest.
on the
I'm be
old
honest.
used up PS5 that got a bunch of miles on it. You know what I mean? You can't take the chance of nothing happening.
I'm be honest with you. I'm going to do it because I know I'm going to be one. I'm going to play a lot, and I'm gonna let Dylan do his thing.
You got to have one for you.
And I got to do my thing. So
I feel you.
Yeah, when it comes to we'll play against each other, but I got to get a copy. So when I be playing at night and you be sleeping, having to go to school, and I be
all you need to do is get one copy and then just upload it to both games.
That's true. Huh? Huh? You call Houston. Dylan say he gonna get Houston. All right, man. We getting close to the end here. Usyk defeats Fury. Split decision. It should have been. I thought it was a majority. I personally thought it was a majority. It should have been a majority decision, but it was a split decision.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was pretty unanimous in my opinion, but
unanimous, yeah, that's what I meant.
But I should have put money on this because I called it at work. I told my coworker that Fury was gonna lose. But Usyk, man, that dude is in his legacy is one of the greatest heavyweights, bro. Like he the first undisputed champ in the 4-belt heavyweight area. He's beaten pretty much everybody of his peers, and done it pretty convincingly. You know what I mean? I mean, when you talk about pound for pound, right now it's got to be Bud Crawford, Canelo. I can't pronounce the dude's name from Japan, but
on you, I know you or something like that.
Yeah, whatever his name is, and then Usyk. I mean, it's got to be them four.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you talk about the best heavyweight of this generation, Fury was the answer, I think. But after last night, I think Fury knocked down a run and Usyk take that title since he was able to get all the belts, be the undisputed champ, and if it wasn't for the bell, he might would have knocked him out in that 9th round last night because Fury was holding on to them ropes for dear life, and the referee kind of he ruled it a knockdown because he was holding on the ropes, but right after that, right after he got off the ropes,
He wobbled.
the bell rung. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if it wasn't for the bell ringing, he might would have got knocked out in the 9th round. So
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah.
think pretty much after that 9th round, it was pretty convincing who won that fight.
Yeah. It is a mandatory. This fight came with a mandatory rematch. It'll be in October sometime. So that'll be good. A good one to see. Another wild story that just recently popped up. Fanatics is suing Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, he said it ain't no contract. They say it's the contract, so it'll be interesting to see
Mm-hmm.
how it play out. But I think if it works in Fanatics' favors, I think you'll see a lot more people trying to sue some of these players for the NIL deals because they'll have some precedent to go off of.
Right. I just I was trying to figure out because it was like some autographs, like memorabilia, game worn jerseys and stuff. And I was thinking, man, I was like, man, that's light work, man. You can, but some people might want to keep some of their stuff as well too. So, because Kobe kept a lot of his stuff. He sued his parents for some of his memorabilia. So, yeah. This next story had to be one of the most whitest crimes I've ever seen situations. Scott Scheffler was trying to get to, so I had to look up the story, figure out what caused it all. So Scott Scheffler was going to Valhalla in Louisville, Kentucky, the country club for the this latest weekend. He was going I think it was 6 a.m. or something like that. There was an accident where a pedestrian was struck by a shuttle bus, fatally struck by a shuttle bus, and they were kind of rerouting traffic. He was trying to get through. I don't know what happened because apparently nobody had their body cam on. Also, there was no dash cam footage.
Yeah, he was trying to drive. The police officer was directing traffic and told him to stop. He tried to drive around the police officer, in the median area, to the golf club, and the police officer told him to stop again. He didn't stop, and so the police officer attached himself to the car. At which time Scheffler kept driving, and the police officer fell and hurt himself, scrapes, bruises, and stuff like that. And so, which led to Scotty Scheffler being arrested for battery of a police officer, among other things.
Yeah. He was arrested. I think it was 7:16 in the morning, 7:06, something like that.
He got out at 8:30.
10:16, he was on the course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen.
But all I'm gonna say is, Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, and the charges was dropped.
Oh, they was dropped. I thought he still had to go to court for him.
I just read the charges were dropped, or I'm sorry, they're expected to be dropped.
Yeah. But he got to go to court for him next week, I think, or next month, something like that. But for his arraignment. But all he had to do was comply.
Yeah. No.
That's all he had to do.
Yeah. That's not.
Police say stop, you stop.
But man, yeah, that was interesting. Somebody else asked something up here, or mentioned something.
LSU track and field.
Track and field. There it is. There it is. Chance said that they are trying to or looking for a track. I'm trying to find it.
It's right here. I'm excited to see how LSU women track and field does. They are ranked number 1 and have lots of athletes qualified. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, one chick, I forgot her name. She just said like the record for man. Let me look it up because that's terrible to me. I saw it on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it.
If you think about all the I know off the top of my head at least 3 LSU Olympians in this past cycle. I'm sure it's gonna be a whole bunch more. I can think of more, saying you add Lolo to it. Lolo a 2-time because she did track and she did the Winter Olympics with the bobsled team.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, cool runnings. LSU, we have a bobsled team.
Man, I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure that
If I'm not mistaken, the men were at least the 4x1 team was number 1 in the NCAA. That is true too. Chance said LSU has a lot of Olympians for other countries. That is true. I know we had several Jamaicans, Swedish.
I'm finna find it. Hold up.
Oh, yeah, no hers. Let me check out the score. Oh, Timberwolves are taking a lead.
Mm-hmm.
They up 5 with 5 minutes left in the fourth. Uh-oh. Hey, do Dad a favor. Go in the freezer in the
Oh, here you go.
Go to the freezer and get my bottle of water. Oh, we did not. I'm glad you said something, Key. Go ahead, and then
Tiger Olympian training members Candace Hill and Favor O'Philly finished 1 and 2, both tying the late Tori Bowie for the second fastest 150-meter straight time ever. That's what I seen.
Gotcha. Dang. We didn't talk about this, bro. And it was in between show. The pickup, the 7-footer for LSU. I said his name not recently. Noah something. Thank you. Shut the door.
Yeah, I don't know much about that 7-footer. We could use the size though. So I mean,
As long as he rebounds.
as long as he a big that can rebound and be a rim protector, I'll take it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the basketball team, Derek found Trey Hannibal, Mawani Wilkinson, and Hunter Dean all graduated. So congrats to them. Noah Boyd or Boyd. I'm thinking he's from St. Lucia. 7 foot 245. Mm-hmm. Man, this might be a good year for him. All right. That's all I got, man. Let's get up out of here. You on mute.
So I guess we'll be back when we be back, I guess.
Yeah, I know. We'll figure something out. I don't know. We got a special guest. We're trying to figure out we can work him in. You know what I'm saying? Get some good commentary for him, but we'll figure it out. Man, let me get my theme music going. We'll be back. Like you said, whenever we be back, we'll let y'all know. In the meantime, for this journey, y'all pray for my wife because she been crying I ain't gonna say non-stop. She been crying a lot though.
Already know, but
yeah.
Y'all be safe, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Like that, we out. This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.